George said, I'm willing to sell you the store when I get ready to retire, which won't be too long. And so I says, okay, you got a deal. And so I never did go back to the state. I had a job there if I didn't want to go back, but I didn't want to go back.
And just to clarify one thing, back and one step, the job you were doing in the Air Force during the war
Was nothing.
what? Riding B-17s while other people were learning how to fly.
No, I never did take any flight lessons or nothing. I just rode around I went through a flight engineer's training school and rode as a flight engineer on training flights for pilots that were training to be B-17 pilots. And we flew all over the country.
You did learn how to make them stop over Portland, didn't you?
No, never did stop in Portland. Stopped in Spokane and
Don't I
Santa
remember
Ana.
a story about a hairpin stopping?
That's how he started the airplane.
Oh. No, that was up in Spokane. Oh, we knew how to put a short into the engine if we wanted to make it. If we wanted to get an extra day layover in whatever city we were in.
Not safe to fly today.
Not safe to fly today.
These are the stories I remember.
And during that time, I seem to remember pictures of locomotives that you used to send back to Ray and I or something,
Pictures?
postcards or something.
Maybe a postcard, maybe. I don't know. Don't remember any pictures.
I remember pictures of you and your buddies hitchhiking with your golf bags.
Oh, yeah, we hitchhiked all over the country. When I came, when I sent my golf bag home, why, the guy.
I went to the postman went to said there was a package for me and set it on the porch, and I went to pick it up.
It was full of my tools from
Hold it,
the.
hold it. Don't record that one.
Somebody wanted to know when you lost your finger.
I lost that in 1971. That was a.
Was it right? I knew it was
Because you came to my wedding like this with a big bandage on it.
right after I started
You walked me
dating
down
Phil.
the aisle like this. That's when you lost your finger.
Well,
1972.
he wouldn't let go of you?
Got your pictures?
Yep, I think that's right.
1972.
Shot the best golf
Okay.
he ever shot in his life.
How did you buy the house at 2190? How did you
When we,
choose that house?
well, we sold the one we had bought in Portland to my Aunt Marie and Uncle Mel because they were living in Portland and were looking for a place, and it was better than what they had, and so I just got my interest out of that and was able to make a down payment on 2190. And
Now, were Grandpa and Grandma down the street then, or they were not?
they were still down in the restaurant.
They were at the restaurant, so is
Yeah.
that why you chose to live there? No?
No, it was just,
It was available.
I don't know, the house was available and it was in the right neighborhood and it was right close to school, and so.
Tad and Elsie weren't that far away. You weren't that far.
Great looking house in those days. That was nice.
Yeah, it was a nice house.
Pollyanna said something about you working at a store just down from Grandma and Grandpa Shinkles.
Yeah, for a while I did. Right across from the Cherry City Bakery. Right there in the corner of Market and Broadway.
Am I getting tired?
Joe Bauer's house?
It was,
With
no,
all the people I love around me.
Ori Barnes had the
Forty
store.
Farms, yeah.
Had the store. And after I came back from the service and had the business on State and 19th Street for, 45 to 51, I decided I didn't like working 14, 15 hours a day. I'm like Phil in that respect. I had my fill of being in business for myself. I can't say that I didn't enjoy it. I had a good time. Made plenty of money. Fed all my family good. Heck, we had steak every night.
And
Little
not
brown
only that,
on the
you brought
outside.
home the out-of-date whipping cream, and Mom would whip that into butter, and it was always yummy.
Whatever.
Do you
But
know if
that,
that's when he ran into, got acquainted with Orville?
And then I went, after that, why, I just worked as a journeyman meat cutter at union wages and went home after an 8-hour shift instead of having to go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning and get home at 7 o'clock at night.
Where did you go from the store out there on State?
On Broadway, let's see.
No, I mean from State Street?
Oh, from State Street, I went to work for Safeway out, there was a Safeway store out in Hollywood District. Right around the curve of Capitol and where, well, it's where the senior center is now and where the clinic is now. There was a big Safeway store right in there, and right next to them was the National Guard Armory. And so
Now
I
can we
worked for-
pry into your lives?
after that, I worked for State Street Market, and then after that, I worked for
Spencer once says just
Bergs and McKay's.
Spence.
yeah. First it was Erickson's, and then it changed to
Mayfair? Which store was that? That belonged to Erickson?
well, the one out on South Commercial was Erickson's, where the music store is now out there.
And you were working there? For Cecil Tyndall?
No, I didn't work there. When I went to work for Erickson, I drove to Corvallis and worked in the Corvallis store.
Oh,
For those of you who don't know, he's an old grocer man himself. In fact,
right.
he's salad dressing.
I remember stocking pickle shells with Uncle Tad.
you.
Yeah.
I was trying to train you, trying to help you, move you along.
Now, Mom, go back to Council, Idaho.
I don't want to.
We'd like to hear some of the stories about your grandma Piper and the marching band of prohibitionists that she led down through town and all that sort of thing.
I can't remember her. We didn't even say the word prohibition, let alone anything alcohol. I mean,
Women's Christian Temperance Union.
was it? Yeah. Oh my. Oh yes. No, that was the way it was.
Well, didn't you go along with it? Weren't you in the parade?
Was I in the parade?
I mean, there were wooden sidewalks and dirt streets.
No, there was sidewalks are wooden.
Yeah,
She-
wooden
sidewalks.
and dirt streets.
Sure.
And didn't she kind of walk down and kind of parade with all?
Grandma never kind of coulda.
I know.
Grandma was
Did.
a half a block ahead of me all the time, and still she was yelling at me because I was right on her heels like a calf in back of a cow, and she was always, boy, she was fast.
And she'd say to you,
She
keep
what?
up, Mary, let's
Yes,
keep up.
yes. I thought it was pretty fast myself.
Yeah, then tell them about the parade, how she used to bang on
The symbols?
pens and all this stuff, and she had all the women down.
I
And they'd
can't
march
remember
into the
that.
bars and-
I can't remember that. I think, sweetheart, would you come and breathe on me and let me smell your breath?
Policeman asked me that same question.
This interview is now concluded.
I gotta know about going to 2655. How did you decide to move out there?
A what?
Going to 2655. What? Other
Well, the family was getting too big. We had to find a bigger house.
How did you choose that house?
We always liked that house. We always, whenever we'd go out for a ride, we looked at that house, and the real estate man said that he had found a house for us, and well, we thought it was just another trip with a real estate man, and we kept getting closer and closer and closer to our house, and he drove in. It was our house. It was just. There was nothing that just fit like a glove in a hand. It was our house.
We walked through it and said, okay, we'll take it. That's just,
Yeah.
Did you have to put more than $100 down?
I don't remember. It was not too much more than that.
It must not have been
No.
the cold winter time though.
Pardon me?
No, that was not, it wasn't cold winter time, no.
No,
Those
but-
two never had that problem. But you know, there's one thing there's one thing about the,
He's still behind the couch.
there's one thing I do remember about these two and all of you kids that lived there, was that you lived good. You had, like Ray said, you had all kinds of food and cakes and you ate good, because I loved to go out there. But I remember you guys, you had, always had nice cars, you had station wagons. I remember that Ford station wagon. And I can remember that you guys went skiing, and you'd take up all of these various activities, and you'd go, you were going all the time, it seemed to me. But the thing I remember, you all had a great life, because you did all of these wonderful
This
things.
is a poor boy who has a home at El Macero, a home at Salishan, and just bought
home in Palm
at
Springs.
Palm Springs. Poor boy.
But I can remember when you took up water skiing. And everybody started water skiing. All of you guys water skied.
Ask Cindy if she remembers.
And you all snow skied.
We broke her ribs on some pilings over in the D-Lake.
You know what I remember most about that? I remember about is that we were water skiing and I thought I was really cool. I was going to come in on two skis right up and land right on the sand. I didn't know there were those old pier pilings in there. I came in full bore, smacked right into a pier piling, just landed dead in the water. And Johnny, the tightest guy you ever wanted to meet in your entire life, had on a brand new pair of shoes. And he actually came right out in the water, got wet and everything, and picked me up and carried me out because I had to go to an ER kind of place there.
What I remember is you coming in and actually hitting the top of that piling and you just hit the top of it, bounced off of it and into the water.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah, and Johnny came, but I'll never forget. What about Johnny? I remember laying there thinking, oh, what are John's brand new shoes?
See, I don't even remember the brand new
It took him
shoes.
25 years to savor those shoes.
Was that his blue suede shoes?
No.
No, it was a new pair of tennis shoes because you wouldn't have been down on the river or on the D-Lake with it. I don't know.
No.
Actually, I think they were leather though. But
No, that was Ray that had the blue suede shoes.
I wasn't on that trip. I missed that trip when she got
And
smacked.
I did have a pair of blue suede shoes.
But they were dark blue.
They were dark.
But he had a money bag for them and he powdered them.
They were light blue.
You are.
Baby blue, actually. I asked to buy boxes of colored chalk, and I only could use one stick on them. You know, and I had to throw the rest of the box away. Couldn't do anything with the rest of the box of chalk. Just one stick that was white color. Weird. I was probably the only guy with a pair of shoes like that.
In your white court.
Who was it that buried their lunch out in the sawdust?
Ray.
Nobody.
And we watched from the kitchen window.
Let's get back to the house.
I think we ought to get a few more of the siblings.
Raymond? Raymond?
Were there when you moved in there?
Raymond?
When you moved into 2655, how many kids were there then? Just been more?
Just the four.
There were 5.
Just 4? No, there was 5.
5. I was there. I didn't count for much, but I was there.
Oh, I see, okay. You weren't,
I was born at 2190, and then we moved to 2655
yeah,
the next summer.
yeah.
Oh, is that right? Was that right?
Raymond, do you remember that trip to, do you remember that trip that we all went to Disneyland? And there not enough of us in that station wagon. That's when you walked up and down passing the baby from one set of arms to another in station wagon. And
Stopped in Bakersfield and
you
picked
were
up
madder than-
Pollyanna and Annie.
You were madder than a hatter because we told you you had to go with us. And you did not want to go at all with.
I spent the trip looking backwards, not seeing that car.
And is that the time when all of us were sitting at the restaurant
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
and the waitress comes up to you or Polly and
Yes,
says,
she's. Would your
your
husband
husband
or
your husband or whoever that man is down there like to pay for? I can't remember what she had.
yeah, because it was.
She was a
I
little
think she
overwhelmed.
thought I was a good Mormon, probably.
I think so. With more than one wife.
That's when Grandpa had died, right?
Yes.
And we were in San Francisco when we got the word that he was.
Picked Pollyanna up at the airport in San Francisco and drove
Yeah.
straight back.
Yeah. But we didn't get back in time before he passed away. He was in the hospital real sick. He hadn't passed away yet.
He hadn't died yet.
No.
Well, then I wasn't at that trip.
No.
No.
I don't think you were. You were working at the drugstore at that time.
I mean, no offense to Papa, but I mean, the one thing we remember the most was not only the Papa died, but we didn't get to see the cemetery.
We got to see Candlestick Park.
As we drove
Right
by.
by the freeway.
Yeah,
Coming
as we
from the
drove-
airport.
Yeah, we said, there it is, and then we just kept on going until we got.
Remember we were had that hotel up on that bluff?
Yeah, with the swimming pool
Yeah.
and the slide.
Man, I remember that. That's a crowded ride home.
Boy, you guys were having a lot of fun when I was out fighting fires.
Well, let me tell you something. The summer before was the summer when we went to Disneyland, and I remember either Disneyland or Reno. We went coming back over the passes someplace in California. We had to stop once, pull over so you could throw up. That's real vivid in my
Wasn't you,
memory.
was Phil?
Johnny had
Phil was always the one whining about puking, and we were always in and then Mother said, oh, sit him up here in my lap, and he did throw up, but I didn't.
I remember once we left the motel in the morning, which took like 2 hours to get everybody in the car. The motel where we were parked was probably maybe 300 feet to the highway. Cindy threw up before we got to the driveway to leave the parking lot. That's amazing. 300 feet in the car, she throws up from car sickness.
That's a very sensitive car sickness.
Probably hadn't hit 5 miles an hour all the way to the end of this driveway.
Remember the time that we...
But it secured her a place in the front seat for the entire rest of the trip. The premium seat, passenger side door.
You know, the kids today yell shotgun, we yell, got a pew! We went to Canada one time, we got off the ferry and drove onto Canada's soil. You remember? I remember throwing up Canada right as And I never knew where we were going in any of those trips because I was always facing backwards. In the back, Chris and Phil and I was in the back with our knees.
All you knew as soon as you got in the car, it was going to be 14 hours before you got out.
And if we were real lucky, they'd leave the back window rolled up so we wouldn't have the exhaust trailing in on us. And we didn't have any place to put our legs because they'd fill in the well, of course, with all the food, coolers and stuff. Knees in our face for 14 hours.
I didn't realize I created such hardships on my kids.
Are you kidding? Look at all the stories there are.
Well, there's more things.